way to work, where I work as a full-time art director, and I'm just starting to think about trying to kind of visualize what this is going to look like when I finish my comic. Not very far. I'm going to be completing inking page 62, which will easily put me over 64 pages. It should be like 65 or 66 pages of the comic done so far. But while that's complete, and I'm stoked about that, like that's a cool thing. I'm also starting to think about like ways of getting the book out there, and wondering if, you know, if I want to look into some publishing information as well, as just kind of looking into a little more into create space and self-publishing routes that I could take to kind of get this book out there. So that's kind of what's going on right now, and my brain is also just like, I'm tired. And I know I've mentioned this on videos, but this challenge is really, it's good. It's a good way to kind of make sure I'm making progress on my comic. And I might have to try to kind of continue the challenge after the 100 days, whether officially or not. I definitely think that I should continue the challenge. As to whether I'll continue the videos on a daily basis, I don't know, because it is exhausting tracking these and kind of getting a video up every day and stuff. And I know that's weird because I'm only doing like 2-minute videos without a lot of content, but it's been very taxing to kind of keep up with. However, it's also exciting to try to kind of take on a challenge and sort of see what I can get done. And one of the things that I've found, the more I work on my comic, and I think maybe this is one of the things that dissuades a lot of people from kind of pursuing their dreams, is when you're working on something that you really like working on, or you're trying to make something happen that you really actually would like to see happen, it can be a little discouraging, because at the end of the day, you know, if it's just a dream or something you just kind of tell yourself that you put away because, you know, I'm a professional now, or I'm a dad, or because of whatever reason, I think it's easier to justify and feel okay with yourself for not doing the thing you feel like you were put on this earth to do. And in my case, as silly as it is, like, I feel like what I was made to do was comics. And but the thing that can be very frustrating when you're in the thick of it and you're actually working on this stuff is starting to really think about the reality of trying to get your book in the hands of readers, and how intimidating that can be. And really, like, it's weird, but at the NCS meeting, which is the National Cartoonist Society, the LA chapter, the meeting that I went to last week really kind of hit a nerve, and in a good way. I was talking to a fairly successful children's book author, illustrator, and some things came up in that conversation that were like, I don't want to get into too many specifics, but they were like specific things you should probably do if you really seriously want to get a publisher and are pursuing like book publishers. And some of these things I had started to kind of make movement towards making happen prior to me being an art director, prior to me having a kid, and I was really trying to look into these alternatives, like these ways to kind of, they aren't even alternatives, they're just specific things you should probably do if you're going to pursue a book publisher. And it just got me thinking. And so that's pretty much what I'm doing right now, is I'm trying to kind of think about what I'm doing, how much of what I'm doing is based on like fear, meaning like if I publish this myself, which I'm not opposed to, and I don't think it's wrong to put out your own books. I actually really want to do that. I want to get the book out, so that's the key. And I think I could do a fairly good job of promoting it. But I also am just starting to more and more gain a better understanding of what I might need to do, and it's a lot of work. And it's kind of, it's just basically that's what's going on today. I'm also super tired, and I feel bad because I feel like the last few of these entries I haven't really had a conversation with, the people who follow me on my channel about kind of where I'm at and how the challenge has been treating me so far. And so I thought, even though it's going to take a little longer to upload on my really slow computer, I would try to give a more coherent, like, kind of explanation as to, like, how things are going for the challenge. So anyhow, so that's some things I'm thinking about. I mean, I have to admit, because what I'm working on is so personal, and when I call it a personal book, it doesn't mean it's a book that only I'll be interested in. It's just a book that I'm very invested in, like I really believe in. Like, I think it'll be a good book, and I think it is pretty good so far, and I think readers would find it really good. And so far, the people that I know who checked it out have been really impressed by it. People on Tapas who are kind of following it, even though my readership is really small, it's like I feel like what I'm writing touches a nerve with people, and the art, I think is hitting home with people. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm 100% confident with my own art. I don't think anyone's 100% confident with their own art. It doesn't mean I'm 100% confident with the story. Like, I do have these moments of, like, super big doubts on if what I'm doing is good enough, and so on. So, yeah, but, like, anyhow, so my brain is starting to get into gear, thinking about some steps that I think I might need to take, and positive steps, but risky steps, and steps that can be very frustrating and kind of disappointing when going through the process of, but might be necessary. And anyhow, so none of this is going to make all that much sense. I know I'm a little, like I said, I'm a little out of it because to hit my attempts to try to kind of stick with about a panel a day on my output for this 100 days challenge. The last 2 nights I've had some really late nights, but I'm making progress forward on the comic, and I'm really appreciative of the fact that, like, there's been some growth on my channel lately. More people have been subscribing. I think viewers are dropping off a little bit, but that kind of makes sense because these updates are every day. The people I'm trying to follow on the hundreds, I'm like many videos behind on watching their videos or commenting, because I'm just in the thick of trying to put out my own videos and trying to, stay on it and complete this challenge. But anyhow, I thought it would be important to kind of have, like, an actual update where I actually talk about where I'm at and what I'm kind of working on. But I'm pretty excited about getting closer to the end of the challenge, and I'm also excited about the fact that, like I said, I'm making more headway on the book, so it may not be a bad idea to start really thinking about the game plan for when it's finished. I think worst case scenario, I'll just put it out through CreateSpace, or a different self-publishing option. Maybe run a Kickstarter, and there's always a chance of, like, that not getting funded or whatever. But But just, you know, using whatever route is necessary to kind of get it out there and get it into people's hands. But there are a couple other things that I might want to look into, that maybe I've been avoiding because of the fear of disappointment, and that's actually not really a very good reason to not do something. So that's something I've been thinking about. I'm gonna I'll get into more detail with that kind of stuff as I do it too on this vlog, but I really appreciate those of you who've been following me along in this journey, and like who follow me on social media and like what I do, even if it's just like following me on Instagram or liking my Facebook fan page, whatever it is. It's like I really those little likes and are like a nice incentive to make stuff, when sometimes I'll feel like I'm creating these things in a vacuum, and like, you know, nobody could care less about the result, which I know is not true, but at the same time, that's just how it feels in the thick of making stuff, especially this far in, where it's like, you know, I'm pretty deep in the pool now, and so it's nice to occasionally have somebody like throw you a lifesaver, you know, like if you're out in the ocean and you're like, am I treading water in the right direction? So yeah, so that's what's going on. I'm gonna basically head to work right now, and then I'll follow up with you guys after I'm at home. I'm finishing panel 4 for page 62 of Quarterly Stories, and hopefully finishing day 68 of the 100 days. All right, I will see you guys then. Alright, so I got home. I had a really good day at work, really successful day. Proud of my art team at work, and got home and managed to finish inking page 62 of Quarterly Stories. So I inked the last panel, and it's like 10:30, which is actually kind of early compared to when I've been finishing these before. And so that'll pretty much do it for the night. So I hope you guys are having success in your 100 days, and for those of you who aren't doing the 100 days and are just kind of supporting me or just interested in checking this out, thanks for checking out my channel. Thanks for your valuable time spent watching and supporting me doing this this comic. Alright, I will talk to you guys in a bit, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow actually.